Hey everyone, I'm Marielle, the founder of Simply Finance, and welcome back to Simply Finance TV. On today's episode, we're simplifying real estate investing with Kat Ocariz, who is a licensed real estate broker, the managing director of SQFP Global Properties, and the president of the City of Taguig Real Estate Board. So hi Kat, welcome.
Marielle.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be
Thanks
on
for having
the show.
me.
I guess the reason that I wanted you on the show is because 95% of my clients, part of their goals talaga is to buy property or invest in property. And I think for most Filipinos, that's like their goal investment.
Yeah, it's like a very forward-thinking goal for everyone.
Yeah. So before I begin with the real estate questions,
Sure.
tell me how you got into this career or
Right.
this industry.
So I started out on various industries. So I even had a banking background, corporate events. That time I started doing real estate on the side.
Okay.
But then I found it more exciting. Every time I come out and talk to people about real estate, it's because it's more relatable to people. Everyone you talk to, they can understand what you're talking about. And then in the greater scheme of things, having that purpose and impact to society, real estate really has like a huge impact to the country's GDP.
Yeah, of course.
So, getting in there, it really excites me. And when
Like
I
you're
talk
part
about
of
it,
that,
and then when I talk about it, it's not like fake,
Yeah.
It's really something I'm very passionate about.
Yeah, and I can really see that, and that I know your company's growing, and that I know you have some listings abroad. You're already selling properties from all over the world. You guys are really onto bigger things, and I'm excited to see that. So, for our viewers, most of them I think are newbie investors, or maybe are thinking of investing in real estate but don't know where to really look or what to look for. So, can you give us some tips for newbie real estate investors and what they should do first?
When we first spoke about this real estate investing, I told you there's something that I want to qualify first before everything. So I want to qualify what type of buyer are you really?
Okay.
Because everyone is saying in real estate, I'm gonna invest,
Okay.
But in reality, when you dig deep into their motivation and thinking about buying, it's actually, there's two types of buyers. So the first buyer, let's qualify it as the end users.
Okay.
The end users, when they buy property, they really think about what's their personal benefit and their future plans.
Okay.
In a way, sometimes, and most of the time, especially here in the Philippines, you think about buying the property and you see yourself living in it, using it.
Yeah.
Maybe not now, maybe in the future. But this whole process of buying, being an end user, it's a very emotional process. Because there are feelings that are involved na, I don't see myself here. So, I want to qualify that as just an end user.
Okay.
It's not really an investment.
Okay.
Because there's an emotional aspect to it. Now, the other type of buyer and investor, this is the legit investor.
Okay.
This is something I've recognized because most of my clients are foreign investors.
Okay.
And when they're investors, they're really looking at the type of property based on how much profit it will generate them.
Okay.
They're willing to go through risks.
Okay.
They're willing to really study it. In the end, it's all about numbers for them.
Okay. There are two types pala of
Yeah.
buyers, end users and investors. So I guess you have to know where you fit in that
Yes.
category. Okay.
So when you qualify that, that's the only time then we can kind of determine where to start investing.
Okay. So once the person has identified if they're an end user or an investor, what should they do next?
This real estate buying, it's very broad.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So there's the pre-selling market,
Okay.
or internationally, it's also known as off-plan.
Off-plan.
So it's basically projects that have not been turned over yet, or something that will be developed in, say, 3 to 5 years from now.
So you mentioned pre-selling, and what secondary market naman?
So secondary is the ready for occupancy. So those properties that are ready there, that you can live in, that you can rent out.
Ready na, gawa na.
So there are two types that the differences there that you're investing in. In pre-selling, it's actually more on the capital appreciation.
Okay, capital appreciation.
So meaning in the long run, your capital or the property's values would increase in the long run.
Okay.
So that's the game in pre-selling properties. In secondary market, there's actually the rental yields. So meaning you're buying in the secondary with the purpose of renting it out, and that's where you're getting profit.
Oh, okay. So for pre-selling, what you're after is the capital appreciation, and for the secondary market, what you're after is the rental yield. So for you guys who are thinking of investing, I guess consider these things first. Okay, so ngayon you chose na pre-selling or secondary. How do you pay the down payment? Because I've actually had some clients ask me, do I save for the 20-30%? Yung sa iba, ang tagal nun. So parang, do I loan it?
Yeah.
So what do you usually suggest, especially for newbies who have naman, a steady career, who can pay for it naman, but they just need that big chunk of down payment?
Right. Again, two different ball games, no? So sa secondary market, that's usually outright cash you need, right? So normally, if you take out a bank loan for the secondary market, they will loan only 80% of the property value. So 20% you have to find a way to give that down payment, right? You're already loaning the 80, so you can't quite loan the 20 on the secondary market.
Right.
So you have to kind of it's loaning the 100%. So you have to look at the 20%. If you can afford it, then why not? Right?
Okay.
Now the pre-selling, that's more for, I guess, newbies, investors. The time actually is right now to get into that. There's a lot of developers who would normally not give a no down payment scheme.
Yeah.
A lot of developers right now have extended either no down payment schemes.
Yeah.
The likes like Ayala, normally they don't give no down payment. They need you to at least have maybe 10 to 20%, right? But now they're actually extending the no down payment terms. So there's a lot of good projects there. And then aside from that, they're even extending longer payment terms.
Yeah.
So usually developers will give it upon turnover, but now they're actually extending it even before turnover. So in fact, you can probably still turn over your unit and live in it already without even fully paying it. So there are those projects. You just have to shop around. There's a lot out there.
Right. Actually, during the pandemic, I just invested in a pre-selling property. It's very affordable considering, but my down payment is actually 49 months. So I have a long time. And now that you've paid and everything, you have a property. I guess I want to go to the question because a lot of people say that when you're renting, you're throwing away money. So what are your thoughts on this?
Right. So the age-old debate.
Yeah.
Rent or buy.
Yeah.
Okay, if you ask a lot of the old generations, older generations would always say, save up, have the house of your dreams.
Yes.
And then, live mortgage-free, right? If you think about it, how long will you have that dream house? Like, for example, me, gusto ko lang. 10 years ago, I wanted a Bel Air house.
Why not?
Why
Of
not, right?
course.
A Bel Air house would cost you 10 years ago, 100 million. So if I saved up, and then finally, I can afford 100 million 10 years now, the value of that house is already 200 million.
Oh my gosh.
So, it's kind of like, okay, where do you place yourself?
Yeah.
So now, the more forward thinkers, and this is something that I've learned, and now this is what I'm doing personally. Buy to rent and rent where you can live.
Buy to rent and rent where you can live.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea there is you buy the property and as an investor, you rent it out.
Okay.
Right? So that one is gaining income na for you.
Yung rental yield
na sinasabi ko. While you bought that property, you already have that asset. So it's gaining your rental yield. In a few years' time, you can sell it and gain that capital appreciation.
Okay, so you get both.
You get both, right? And then throughout these years, 10 years' time, I probably still won't be able to afford to buy the Bel Air house, but I can probably afford to rent there.
Okay.
So what Bel Air houses now are like what 100,000 plus, mga 100 to 200,000 a month. So you can kind of like, you know, weigh your options there.
And parang have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Own property and live where
Exactly.
you dream of living.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I think I'm gonna consider this.
Yeah.
Because medyo malaki rin yung dreams ko.
Diba? Like, why wait 10 years
When you can do it
when
now.
you can do it now? You can actually rent a house. Yes, you have that old thinking now, well, you don't really own the house. But do your friends actually ask you, like, do you own this
own the house?
You know?
Exactly.
You have property. I have another property.
Yeah, right. Since you mentioned about that 100 to 200 million, what is the usual average rate of return of real estate investment in the Philippines?
So usually when we say return or yields in investment, they usually look at the two things, rental yield and capital appreciation, right? The rental yield, usually it should be above inflation rate of the Philippines, right? For the time being, our inflation was like at a 5, right? So anything between 6 to 9% is a good rental yield, which is why a lot of foreign investors flock here. Because that's unheard of regionally, actually. So if you go to Hong Kong, Singapore, the rental yields are 1 to 2%. So they're happy with 1 to 2%.
That's why there's so many foreign investors investing.
So they come here and they get 6 to 9%. Well, now probably it's a little down now, but before they were getting between 6 to 9%. So that's why, and compare that to the 2% that they're getting, right?
So that's yearly.
Yes, yeah. How you compute that is how much a rent for a whole year divided by how much you actually bought.
How about the capital appreciation? What's the usual?
So for a while, we've been in the uptrend. So a conservative rate, we're getting 10% yearly of appreciation.
That's good, right?
It's very
good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So Philippines has been fortunate to have that 10-year already na uptrend of the real estate.
But how does the pandemic syempre affect that? What's your forecast for the real estate market in the next year or so?
Yeah, so a lot of experts right now, well, everyone is still like, you know, every month kind of changes. We don't know what the government is doing also now. So a lot are kind of like wait and see. Also, when it comes to the global financial crisis we've learned there globally, we're not really leveraged like the other countries wherein everyone is mortgaged and the subprime, that was like a main downturn. So in Philippines, surprisingly, because cash is still king here, so we're kind of safe pa, you know. If you see the trend of the capital appreciation of real estate, it's really like going steep for the past 10 years. So it's still going up. So what will happen is we're gonna have that correction that we've been waiting for a while. We just didn't like expect it for a pandemic to do it, but we've been kind of waiting for
parang
the correction.
Correction.
Kasi usually diba 8 year, ano. So we've been kind of waiting for the correction because the prices have skyrocketed. You know, it's been crazy. Even foreigners now are saying, wow, this is the price in Manila, in BGC where we live. Is crazy. Now with the pandemic, it's a time to look at opportunities. Okay. Right now, to be honest, the prices haven't really dropped as we have predicted. Maybe later on, a few more months, that's when you start seeing these fire sales or those.
So watch out, guys.
Yeah, watch out
August,
for the fire
like
sales.
for prices to go down.
So it's a matter of kasi the holding power of the seller or the property owner. No, how much can you hold on to your property and hold on to that price? So a lot in the high, especially mid to high mga BGC, they're still holding on to the pre-COVID prices. But we expect it to kind of slip a bit, you know, in the months to come. But most experts are saying it's gonna be like a hockey stick. Like it will go down a bit, but still recover right away next year.
Yeah, I wanted to know, since this is Simply Finance, I wanted to know what your personal finance tips are for like what you learned in your 20s and what you wish you did.
Wish I got into real estate earlier on. Yeah, definitely. There was like some projects as a new broker pa lang, as a young one. I was selling these and kind of like faking it till you make it, right? But I was looking back and I was thinking, I could have afforded the monthly payments. But I had that thinking that I don't have the money for the actual
lump
sum, so I didn't want to invest. But then, like in 2014, there was this project by Shang, which was only like less than 3 million pesos,
Yeah.
which I could have invested in that time. And the monthly payments were so
Yeah.
low.
Grabe, less than 3 million.
Yeah, you know, and now it's turned over now. And it's selling at what, 7-8 million?
Oh my
So I
gosh.
missed out on that. And I was selling it
Yeah.
like, you know, it was a legit investment.
Yeah.
But I myself didn't invest.
Yeah.
That's something I regret.
That's what I keep telling my clients also. As long as you have naman like income that's coming in, that's regular. If you have the chance of investing already,
Yeah.
just do it already.
Just do
because time talaga is your biggest factor. It's not the money, it's time. And if you take advantage, then your investments will grow with it. I guess, Kat, you could promote to our viewers any projects or how they could find you if they'd want to invest in property. Yeah, please invite them.
So I specialize more in the Central Business District, so BGC, Makati, Ortigas. So you could find us in BGC, look at our website.
And we'll link it down below.
Yeah, follow our IG. We're just slowly building that up. I have a special project upcoming in the next month. Watch out for it. This is actually a website where you can look at your below market deals. So perfect for your investors.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, let's watch out for that and we'll post about that also. Thank you so much, Kat, for joining us today. I know that you're very busy and we learned a lot.
Thanks for having
me.
me.
So guys, I hope you learned a thing or two about real estate investing and I hope that you're inspired to do something about that urge of wanting to invest in real estate. If you'd like to know more, you could contact Kat and go to their website, or you could contact us as well, and we'd help you as best as we could. So hope to see you guys on the next episode. Bye!